na nirodhaḥ svabhāvena sato duḥkhasya vidyate svabhāva-paryavasthānān nirodhaṃ pratibādhase.
Na nirodhaḥ svabhāvena sato duḥkhasya vidyate svabhāva-paryavasthānān nirodhaṃ pratibādhase. MMK chapter 24 verse 23. Nor either is found with self-existence cessation of real and present suffering. By affirming self-existence, you negate cessation. So, real and present suffering is my translation of sato, duḥkhasya, of real and present suffering. So, nirodhaḥ is the third noble truth. Cessation, inhibition. Nirodhaḥ, nirodho duḥkhasya, nirodha sato duḥkhasya. Nirodha sato duḥkhasya. Cessation, nirodha, of real and present suffering. Sato duḥkhasya. So duḥkhasya is genitive singular of dukkha, suffering, and sataha, which goes to sato before dukkha. Sataha is genitive singular of sat, which is the present participle of as, to be. So being. But it also means true, real. So I've translated it real and present suffering. And so real and present suffering is empty suffering. It's not a thing unto itself. But because it's empty, it doesn't mean that it's not real. So sato means real. And it also includes the meaning, because it's the present participle of as, to be. It means going on here and now. So, nirodha sato duḥkhasya, the cessation of real and present suffering. So, what does that mean, real and present suffering? Well, like here and now, I wake up every morning feeling like a failure. Every morning I wake up with negative thoughts. My life has been a failure in terms of what I was hoping to achieve, which was to be effective. I did a degree at university on organisational effectiveness, and I fancied I'd go to Japan and get enlightenment, then come back to England and manage an organisation really effectively, because I thought that's how you really make a difference in the world. Not by joining Oxfam or Save the Children or some idealistic thing. You know, multinational corporations, I figured, are the ones that really make a change in the world. So that was my idealism. I set off to Japan to find enlightenment through Zen and the martial arts. And here I am, 36 years later, set off in January 1982. Here we are in November 2018. And I feel my life has been mainly a response to the teaching of a Zen master that turned out not to be true. And furthermore, my response to that teaching also has turned out not to be true. So that's why I wake up every morning feeling like a failure. And it causes me to, that causes me to suffer. But what happens every morning is I get up and spend an hour sitting in lotus, and if I follow the Buddha's teaching, expressed in Pali like this: Sabhāvāvena samvedi asasi samiti sikkati, Sabhāvāvena samvedi pasasi samiti sikkati, then I start to feel better. I start to feel better before I give that direction, to be honest, just by sitting there and being as miserable as ever I feel like being. And after a while, just the physical business of sitting in full lotus and pointing myself roughly in an upward direction, just keeping a reasonable good posture, things change. And then I find the will to think that direction. And it means sabhāvāvena, the whole body, pratibādhase, being mindful of, being reflectively aware of. Asasisami, I will breathe in. Pasasisami, I will breathe out. Iti means like this, thinking this. Sikati, he or she trains himself or herself. So it's training. And that training is the cessation of real and present suffering. If you train yourself, the moment you begin the training, the suffering just evaporates. You're at that moment, that's the best you can do, is to train yourself. And I've been very fortunate that to meet the Alexander technique, so I think I know what that instruction really means. See, Marjory Barlow used to say, every Alexander lesson, the pupil should gain a bit more understanding about what those directions mean, what those orders mean. And those orders, to let the neck be free, to let the head go forward and up, to let the back lengthen and widen, sending the knees forwards and away. You can carry on pulling to the elbows and widening across the upper part of the arms as you widen the back. You can add further directions on. Softening behind the eyes, releasing tension from the jaw. Carefully, don't tighten in front of the throat. Release the tension from the wrists and the ankles. You chase tension all around the body, and it ends up in the wrists, FM used to say. These are all things I remember Marjory telling me. And so she would go on like that for a while, and she would go, yes, that's it, the whole body informed with thought. The whole body informed with thought. Well, this corresponds to the Buddhist teaching. Sabhāvāvena, the whole body. In Sanskrit, patisamvedi will be pratisamvid. The verbal root vid is to find or to know. We've just been having, like in na vidyate, is not found. Vidyamanam is now being found. Pratisamvid, prati suggests reflection. It means, prati means going back. Sam means together. It suggests integration. And vid means to experience, to perceive, to know. So it exactly corresponds, as far as I'm concerned, with Marjory's description, the whole body informed with thought. So that is already cessation of real and present suffering. Practicing in that direction. And then the Buddha continues, Pasambayam kaya sankarana sasi samiti sikkati. Pasambayam kaya sankaran pasasi samiti sikkati. He trains himself, iti, thinking, with the awareness that. Prashambayam. That is from the root sham, which means to exhaust, to cause to be quiet. Is causative, present participle. So causing to be quiet, causing to be exhausted. Kaya sankara, the samskara of a body, the convenient fiction of a body. So causing the convenient fiction of a body to evaporate, I will breathe in. Causing the convenient fiction of a body to evaporate, I will breathe out. Well, this is what this is all about. Emptiness. Because the whole body being informed with thought is only a convenient fiction. It's very convenient, it's very practical. It is the cessation of real and present suffering to a certain degree. But ultimately, cessation of real and present suffering is nirvana. And nirvana is not realised without relying on the ultimate truth. The ultimate truth is emptiness, and the truth of emptiness means there is no whole body. There are empty happenings going on, and the whole body is a convenient fiction within that scenario. So there is no separate body, separate from gravity, separate from breakfast, separate from society, separate from the oxygen that the trees are producing. So what is being discussed in the first line is svabhāvena. So svabhāvena is instrumental singular of svabhāva. Svabhāva, self-existence. Svabhāvena, with self-existence, in the presence of self-existence. So again, it just means in the scheme of you, the opponent, in the scheme of you, the Zen realist who believes in the reality of things. In that scheme, na nirodhaḥ vidyate. Cessation is not found. Nirodhaḥ, nominative masculine singular, cessation, third noble truth. Na vidyate is not found. So na nirodhaḥ vidyate, cessation is not found. Svabhāvena, with self-existence, in the presence of self-existence. Na nirodhaḥ sato duḥkhasya. No cessation of real and present suffering, vidyate, is found. With self-existence, svabhāvena. So, nor either is found, na vidyate, not found, with self-existence, svabhāvena, cessation, nirodhaḥ, of real and present suffering, sato duḥkhasya. Nor either is found with self-existence, cessation of real and present suffering. So I tried to describe in my own experience what it means for real and present suffering to cease. And it corresponds to what Nishijima Sensei used to call the philosophy of action. Because when you train yourself, whether it's in Zazen, when you train yourself in Zazen, or when you devote yourself to some useful task, that is the cessation of real and present suffering. So I've been feeling a failure, not just recently, but basically it's been a whole story of failure from the word go, really, my efforts in Zen. So I was helped a lot by Nishijima Sensei's philosophy of action, the whole of the Shobogenzo translation. I did it feeling miserable most of the time. Well, that is to say, I would wake up every morning feeling tired and weary. I used to drag myself to brush my teeth with the Madness song playing off in my ear. In the morning I awake, my arms, my legs, my body aches, and so begins another weary day. That was the ethos in which I spent the 1980s. But I was quite good at doing translation work, relatively speaking. And so that was the cessation of real and present suffering. When I was focused on the job in hand, I wasn't conscious of suffering. So what Nagarjuna is saying, that finding of the cessation of real and present suffering is not found with self-existence. If suffering was a self-existent thing, that cessation of suffering, that cessation of real and present suffering would not be possible. Second line, svabhāva-paryavasthānān nirodhaṃ pratibādhase. Nirodhaṃ, accusative singular of nirodha, cessation. Pratibādhase, second person singular of pratibād, to negate. pratibādhase, you negate. Nirodhaṃ, cessation. By affirming self-existence, and that's one compound, an ablative compound, so it ends in art. The art before nirodha goes to an. So svabhāva-paryavasthānān, nirodhaṃ pratibādhase. So it's from svabhāva-paryavasthānān. The na ending suggests a gerund in English. So it's paryavasthānān means affirming. So paryavasthānān, paryavasthanāt means because of or through affirming. Svabhāva, self-existence. Svabhāva-paryavasthānāt, ablative, through affirming self-existence, by affirming self-existence. Nirodhaṃ pratibādhase, you negate cessation. By affirming paryavasthanāt, self-existence, svabhāva, by affirming self-existence, svabhāva-paryavasthānān, you negate, pratibādhase, cessation, nirodhaṃ. Svabhāva-paryavasthānān, nirodhaṃ pratibādhase. By affirming self-existence, you negate cessation. So again, in your scheme, in the opponent's scheme, to affirm the self-existence of suffering is to negate the third noble truth. Affirming self-existence is a negation of the third noble truth. Na nirodhaḥ svabhāvena sato duḥkhasya vidyate svabhāva-paryavasthānān nirodhaṃ pratibādhase. Nor either is found with self-existence cessation of real and present suffering. By affirming self-existence, you negate cessation.